On Earache Records, the LP is called Evanescence. This track is Days Past, and it's by Scorn. Now, tens of thousands of people have written in to ask, how is it that Frank Black got together with Teenage Fanclub to record this exclusive session for your programme on 1FM? Well, it happened like this. When we asked Frank Black to do a new session for us, I'm reading at this juncture, he decided that he wanted a backing band, not unreasonably, so he rang his label, 4AD, and someone there knew Teenage Fanclub and suggested them. They all got on really well while recording the session and may well work together again one day. Frank Black will be appearing at the Reading Festival on the 26th of August, just 4 days before my birthday. And this is the first from the Frank Black and Teenage Fanclub ensemble. And, well, it's a cover version.
I'm not the kind I use the fence that I rule. I'm handed with the love and I'm no fool. I think broken hearts, I know I really care. If your broken heart needs repair, I am the man to see. I was for smooth things, to tell all your friends, and will come in to me. It is the main thing I want to see. I'm busy 24 hours a day. I feel smoking hot. I know I really care.
Good rowdy knockabout stuff, just the sort of thing we want, really. Frank Black and Teenage Fanclub working together in session, and that's called Handyman. And I phoned up my research department, and she just got back from going to some kind of upmarket garden centre and had returned with a van load of plants, but she did have time to tell me that the original of that, by Jimmy Jones, got to number 3 in the charts in March of 1960, and obviously more from Frank Black and Teenage Fanclub later on. This is another one of those records that I bought from Kenya. I didn't buy them from Kenya, somebody else had got them from Kenya, but I bought them from him. And there's about, what did I say, 170 of them. I've listened to about 15 now, and really 10 of them at least are absolutely wonderful, and this is one of the absolutely wonderful ones. It's by the Ukumbani Original Stars. Parts of it are in English. I recommend that you pay attention to those in particular. The track's called Masakato. Oh, we used to swoon for them when I was a lad, you know. The incredible string band on Hannibal Records from a compilation called imaginatively The Hannibal Sampler. And when the music starts to play in the notes, it says their first 6 albums released between 1966 and 1970 defined one aspect of the psychedelic era. Starting as fixtures on John Peel's legendary all-night pirate radio show, they went on to the Newport Folk Festival, etc. So legendary indeed was this programme that it never existed, because I never had an all-night radio programme. I did one on the very last day of Radio London, but that was the only one. On the other hand, they did do, over the years, 11 sessions. I checked in Ken Garner's book for my programmes at the end of the 60s, beginning of the 1970s. Right, this is another one from Frank Black and Teenage Fanclub, their first session for the programme, and of course a session of that's already achieved legendary status. And back in the days when I used to work on a radio station in America, and we played something like a Beatles record which nobody else had got, in the middle of it we'd fade it down and say, "These are the Beatles on KMEN San Bernardino." And really, because this is going to be bootlegged and it'll probably be available from bootleggers in street markets and things almost before the programme's over, if it's not available already. This is, I probably should do that with this, but I'm not going to. This is called The Man Who Was Too Loud.
Though he loved to rock and roll all these many years, he cared about the old people's and little children's ears. Though he was a guitar man, he reflected and he vowed, never will I ever be, no, never again, the man who was too loud. Shout at that poor man, never gets him down. Now that he is free, he is not proud.
A great track, actually, and while it was going on, the Americans scored a great goal, too, to equalise. It's now Switzerland 1, United States of America 1. That was Frank Black and Teenage Fanclub, and the man who was too loud. And if you were listening to last night's exciting programme on 1FM between 10 and 1 o'clock, you'll have heard me mention the fact that while I was away on the Isle of Man for the TT racing, another wonderful couple of weeks, but, I mean, don't all go, because it's getting a bit too crowded. Frankly, stay away is what I suggest you do, and leave the place for, like, Kershaw and myself and our mates and one or two others besides. Too many there altogether, really. But what I was going to say was that there were so many records that came in. I mean, I'm not complaining at all. Obviously, I'm overjoyed to get them. Love listening to them. No question about that. Have done for years and hope to do for many years yet. But I counted them all this afternoon because I'm that kind of bloke, because I like to know. There were 243 new LPs on sort of vinyl and CD form that came in during those 2 weeks. Now, if you work out that each one of those is, say, at the very minimum, half an hour long, well, that's 120 hours. I mean, take it from there yourselves. I can't be bothered to work it out, but it's a lot of listening, goodness me. One of the ones which I have turned my attention to straight away, because they did a fine session for the programme recently and I've enjoyed their tapes, has been the LP by Time Shard, which is called Crystal Oscillations. And here are some moments, listeners, from that. Link Ray, of course, and that's Black Widow from the LP on Chiswick Records, early recordings. Before that, Linus from their LP Hughley, which is on Elemental Records, and some more faxes have arrived. Well, actually, some of these arrived during the week, to be honest with you, but this says, what does this say? Thanks very much for playing Panic from Naked Eyes CD in the early part of the year. Just a short note to let you know that the band will be playing live in London, coming up from Exeter, on Tuesday the 21st of June at the Monarch in Camden Town, on stage at 8:30. I hope to see you there. Alas, Nigel, you will not, actually, because I should be at home watching the football on television, I expect. And here's, which relates to a fax that I received from Dave Lotz, who sent me a fax from somewhere on Humberside, doesn't say exactly where, saying, I sent you information on our World Cup competition, knowing the fun-loving football fan that you are, hoping that you would be our celebrity entrant. We haven't received any information from you. I therefore concluded that either A, you didn't want to enter, or B, you hadn't received the info. Well, the fact is actually, Dave, that I was on the Isle of Man, as I said earlier on, and hadn't received the information at all. In fact, I haven't found the original letter whatsoever, so it's obviously too late for me to take part in that. But he says, if you can't do it, can you please play something jingly-jangly for my wife Lorraine and son Joseph? Well, this, I think, is pretty much fits the bill. It's from Frank Black and Teenage Fanclub in session, the Jacques Tati.
I got a brand new walk, make you real happy, so let's declare the dance. It's called the Jacques Tati. Jacques Tati. Get on your toes, try to take big steps, and when you start to coast, take a look on down at nothing particularly. It's dance to Jacques Tati, dance to Jacques Tati, dance to Jacques Tati. You gotta move real fast. There's a certain flow in all the people you pass. Will try and smile hello, 'cause it's a lame old world where the future meets the past. Stuck out
I think they make rather a merry noise together. What do you think, listeners? That's Frank Black and Teenage Fanclub in session. Jacques Tati was the title of it. And here's another track from that excellent 4LP set, or 2 CDs if you want it in that form. Trans-Europe Express 2, which comes from the people who do Volume. This is Escape, Pete Namlook and Dr. Apno, and the track is called Escape to Earth. Ellie im Wunderland is the title of this, and it comes from the LP by Mouse on Mars. On 2 Pure Records, the LP is called provocatively Volvaland. And I understand from phone calls that we've been getting that 1 or 2 listeners, misled, I think, by the Radio Times, have been under the impression that there were going to be reports in these programmes and in Kershaw's programmes on the Pride event going on in London at the moment. And I've just been checking on that, and it turns out there are going to be at least 3 reports from it in the course of Johnny Walker's programme, which, of course, starts here on 1FM in some 23 minutes' time. So, this is another, in fact, it's the last from Frank Black with Teenage Fanclub, a first-class session, I'd say, and I hope they do it again. Don't suppose they will, but it'd be nice if they did. This is called Sister Isabel.
Beside the church there stands a girl I knew so well. As I get closer, I can feel a chill. She's changing her name from Nora to Sister Isabel. Isabel, can you hear the words I'm saying? Isabel. The night she said goodbye, she said we'd meet again someday in a castle in the sky. The choir has stopped singing, I no longer hear the bells. She changed her name from Laura to Sister Isabel. Isabel, am I really gonna lose you? Isabel, does it need you more than I do?
Frank Black and Teenage Fanclub, the last from them, and that's called Sister Isabel. Another cover version, actually. This one, a Shannon Highland composition, presumably Del and Brian of those ilks. And our thanks to Frank and the kids for turning out, as I say, and I hope they'll do it again at some stage. This next record is on Charnel House from San Francisco, California, and it's called, as far as I can tell, Piru. I mean, Pyru by Crash Worship. You recognise it if you see it in the shops because it's got a naked person on the front of it, rather generously proportioned, at least if that's standard issue. That explains why I've lived such a drab and colourless life. Anyway, Piru, or whatever it is called.